Hey everybody, welcome back to another all new X's for Show, your premier media response show. I'll get a better word than media. I'm Nico. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram. That's GODDESS. That's Nico Action. That's NICOACTION. And last night, some drag queen saved my life.
And I'm TK. You can find me all over social media at xnateXgrayX.
And I guess that leaves me with Kevo. You can find me on the socials at Kevoreally, KEVOREALLY, or pulling the strings on these programs. And we have a very exciting one for y'all today.
I am faggoting over the moon right now for this one. This is such an exciting episode because I never saw myself being a reality TV show person. I had some real gay feelings about how I felt about the Real World as a kid and Road Rules. I thought that the Real World was the better show, but I figured that I would be more likely to get action traveling town to town if gay anthologies had taught me anything. But I never saw myself getting into reality TV, and then I had a boyfriend or two who, it's a complicated story, but in that gay incestuous way, I had a boyfriend or two who were super into Project Runway, and they were like, watch it. And I was like, no. And now it is quite seriously my religion. It's my favorite TV show. I explain things in terms of Project Runway. So when Jonah was like, watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I was like, no, that's okay. And so then when TK was like, no, really, watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I was like, but only if Kevo will come with me.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's funny because I sort of have felt the way about Project Runway. I've also really felt the same way about Top Chef and just competitive reality TV in general. I'm just not super into it. And ironically, the big thing that I've always been into is the Real World, or that I was always into as a kid. That was my big reality TV show. I was very influenced by the first 7 seasons of The Real World. But I, in 2015, had some close friends who were huge fans of Drag Race, and I said, I'm not really into it. I haven't done a lot of drag shows. I wasn't really into drag when I was in New York. It's just, I don't think it's for me. And it was one of those things where, they played the best possible clip of a particular queen. They showed us some very funny moments, and then
have I met her?
What's that?
Have I met her yet?
Yeah, so the first one was Jinx, and then it was Alaska. And
there you go.
Then they said, we've been watching these for 20 minutes, and you've done nothing but laugh. You have to watch the show now. And then, it was in the bag, and now I have seen every season of Drag Race. And when I met you guys, I knew that you would really be the type that would respond to it. But I also did not push on the we must watch it because I was the exact same guy.
And now me and this guy are having a little too much fun with Drag Race.
I really think it's one of those things where your entry point really is important. You saying that reminds me of a story of how Nico and I were first introduced to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We were shown 2 specific episodes in the 3rd season and found them uproariously funny. And that's how you get someone in. You guys showed us season 5, which was, I still think, the perfect introduction season for us, especially with how much Jinx's career has been taking off lately. And now this season, season 15, has been a wonderful live season. Really, truly, very funny joke. This season has been a wonderful experience to be our first one live, for sure.
And I'm famous for my candor and ebb and flow.
Jonah and I were talking about how we're really glad that we didn't super push it last year. Although I really think that when we eventually get there, you guys will just fall in love with Willow Pill and a bunch of the other queens too.
I did last night.
Yeah, exactly. Just in 30 seconds, you can see what it is about her, that she's just so great. But
Same with Cornbread.
Yeah, Cornbread's fantastic. Sasha's daughter, Carrie Colby, is really good in that season. even though it's weird, the situation with Maddie Morphosis, the first heterosexual queen to compete, it's still interesting. There's, it's one of those things where it's like there's still new stuff happening. But production has gone in a very specific direction since about season 11. I mean, since COVID, obviously. And not all bad. But definitely not the vibe that I got into the current running seasons with. And that vibe, I'm certain you guys would love. Like if we could go back in time, I'd be like, let's watch season 6 together. But these last few, it's just kind of been a different thing. And season 15 really felt like a new direction that was born out of continuing to move forward, but having such a large back catalog and such a division of eras that there's now kind of a way to be meta contextual with the different eras and sort of bring them all together and, use them as spices to flavor the whole thing.
And, the nature of how we came to Drag Race means Kevo and I have seen a bit less, but, that's why we're bringing on people who have seen a whole lot more and know a whole lot better. But, our Drag Race sort of baptism has been really exciting. I've found myself like head over heels in love with some of these girls, and I have found myself,
less
in love with some of these boys.
Yeah. There's that too.
Some of these
Look out if you're a hot drag queen or Brian Cox.
Oh, there was another one the other day. I forget what it was though.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like you could literally do a super cut of all the times I'm super horny on this show, but then it's just showing all of our episodes.
Yeah,
pretty much. It's just a clip from every episode.
It's just the whole episode sometimes. So
I love a whole episode.
So to quit, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing today, because it's kind of a cool change for the show. We had a great time talking Super Mario Brothers. And we are really loving getting to talk a little bit more of the media that HTML used to deal with. So we're still doing comics weekly, and you can always check out our comic broadcast. This past week it was on Friday. Next week it's going to be on Wednesday, doing the books as they come out, kind of sort of like they're going to be so hot off the press. I'm going to get ink on my hands. But we're also going to be taking a look at more and more media and what we're kind of calling like little show Saturday and big show Sunday, but it's also like sometimes going to be a little bit backward, right? We're breaking into more forms of media. Today, we're taking a look at RuPaul's Drag Race. Super exciting. Tomorrow, we're going to be taking a look at the sort of fate of the MCU, the past of the MCU, where it's all at, and get back to the roots of this show, HTML, the partner show for X is for Show. Then next week, we're going to be doing on Saturday, because next week is an all streaming service weekend. It's super exciting. Saturday, we're going to be taking a look at 2 streamers, beginning and an ending. We're going to be taking a look at the complete series of Jury Duty, which was amazing and a lot of fun. And then we're going to be taking a look at MMPR, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Once and Again, Once and Always, Future. If it was just like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers one day at a time, that would be
the Power
Rangers a year in the life.
It is a reference going back to Power Rangers in Space and the episode where Adam returns and uses his morpher, which was titled Once a Ranger, Always a Ranger.
So it's
the
once
title
and always. Thank you.
So it is Once and Always. Like once, it's just confusing because it's like Once and Future King. Like
that was the first thing I thought of.
Well,
yeah, and Once and Again, like you said.
Yeah, Seal. Oh my God, Seal Award would make it even better. So then, we're gonna look at a little bit of the Star stuff on Sunday with the finale of Mandalorian and the finale of Picard, and that's that. But so okay,
Star-studded Sunday.
Ooh, but now let's talk Drag Race, because that's what we're here to do, and I'm really excited about this. We have an unusual format today. We're going to talk about each queen in 90 seconds. So there's gonna be like a timer running, and Kevo, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's it, next queen, and you're gonna have to change the image, and it's gonna be quick queens.
90 seconds.
I mean, I'm gonna excuse my phone and do a timer because, like, you know, it's like an abacus. But so now, okay, I want to also just sort of mention generally what makes a good queen, right? I'll admit the hardest selling point for me originally on Drag Race was girls sing.
Interesting.
Girl sing. Girl sing. Sing, girl, sing. Sing. And maybe it's just that I'm a performer, and so I'm like, sing. But that also means that, like, TK's pointed out that sometimes what I do is I connect more with the heart of the performer than the actual performance. I see what the song is meant to represent more than what the song is doing. And it has meant some balance, but I think that might be why, like, the second Lucy got up there. Okay, I know her name is Lucy LaDuca, but I've decided that she's got a little bit of Lucy DeLuca in her, and she could be a tough old bitch from Brooklyn. I love her so much. I don't care. I think we're gonna get into it, but I think that the victim edit on Lucy was just so heavy. But no, anytime Lucy wants to get loose, I'm right here.
But, and you know, to keep it relatively quick, it was heavy, but the stars aligned to change her position in pop culture in a way that is uniquely what goes on with Drag Race fandom. Yeah. And you know, she is now more poised than ever to just be an adored queen who is fun. And that's really, like, 3 weeks ago, it was like, God, she is rough. So it's pretty crazy how it happens.
And how quickly those things turn around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think, you know, the thing that has me the most excited is Irene got this weird edit where it was like, we're not giving you her. And I don't know what the situation was there, but, like,
she just lost.
The producers wanted you to feel bad about it, and I did. But then, like, you know, there's that fact I think Kevo booped my way, which was 24 interviews for Irene compared to 7 for Robin. And
it's like, yeah, it's like in the 20s versus like in the 10s. It's way too
Robin's
large
amazing. Yeah. And Robin's stunning, and Robin's intelligent, and Robin's poised and clever. And, like, I didn't get enough of that, but we saw it whenever Robin spoke. So it was like, there was some weird balance issues with how I saw the queens because of how much I saw the queens. And I think something that also makes for a great queen is screen time.
Well, and you know, the song of this year was Blame It on the Edit, and RuPaul and the production staff really brilliant job, although I like to think when I look around that nobody is fooled. But this idea, this line that they can keep pushing, that, like, you can say it's the edit all you want, but you said the thing and we're just putting it on the show. If you have worked for a single second in film and television, you know how untrue that is, and how fully possible it is to take a story where, you know, somebody goes, and then my uncle said, I don't like women, and cut it into just a person saying, I don't like women. And no, you know, then you just
I hope that gets cut into you just saying I don't like women.
I deserve it. I
put that on
Blame it on the edit, people. I said I don't like women. It's done now.
Wait, hold on. I'll be mistress.
Just pop that chest. You're good to go. So, you know, at the end of the day, the edit is so incredibly powerful. There are moments where people absolutely get a villain edit, but then also have said and done things that are bullyish. That are villainous. There are times that people do that because they want to make good television, and then they get sort of, especially in early seasons, they don't really realize how over the top the fandom can get. But, you know, you should blame it on the edit, because the production staff and the editing team at this show have so much power and are so good at their jobs, as they should be. That's what makes for good TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a very real possibility that you could not have been particularly villainous, and you can be edited to be pretty villainous.
And then you get like the competitors just to, hey, Project Runway, anytime you guys want a Project Runway after show called like Threads, or like you just want me to rub Christian Siriano's shoulders if he's tired, whatever. I'm here.
He's willing to work, people.
I am.
Wendy Pepper wasn't the horny category. That was a different category.
Yeah, no, that was, he's just so brilliant. I just want to learn from him. Oh my
That was the Mariah Carey category.
Yeah, I just want to carry Mariah Carey's bags behind her. I don't know. Like, I want to have like conversations.
And yeah, and I would
want to record with.
We would do that for Christian too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wendy Pepper was the villain of the first season of Project Runway, and she was such a villain. And she was like, seriously, she was insane. At like points, she would be like, "Don't you think reacting to me being cruel to you is a strategy?" And they're like, "No, it's reacting to you being cruel." And she's like, "That's a strategy."
I think you're very calculating.
She was,
okay.
And now tragically she's passed away, and so that technically makes her Wendy Pepper's ghost, or a ghost Pepper.
God damn it.
Well, and Pepper's ghost is an effect used in theme park attractions to create silhouettes and projection. So it's just all around a really good pun, but truly, so sorry to her family. But she kind of reveled in being the villain of the edit. She loved her villain edit. She was like, "Yeah, I'm the bitch of Project Runway. What are you gonna do?" Meanwhile, Jay McCarroll's over there being like, "I came in to be the bitch, and somebody got in my way.
How am I the nice one?"
And then Kara Son just out there getting $5 shoe receipts.
And, you guys will get to this one eventually, but Gia Gunn, when she returns for All Stars, has a hard...
Super idiot?
Very over-the-top season 6er.
She was the one who's like, "I don't sew."
She probably did say that, but she's the one who keeps saying absolutely.
Okay.
This is how early on we are, viewing audience. Gia comes back for a season of All Stars, and hard villain edit that she leans into because she just wants to make good reality TV and have good screen time. So she really, it's so over the top that you can't really even be like, "Oh, that's mean," because it's just so calculated and at times like ham-fisted. But it leads to these moments where she's just said something hilarious and yet very, very shady. But she wanted the screen time. And, she talks about how she was like, she was trying to get the queen whatever queen she was shading at the time to be like, "Fight with me because then you're going to get more screen time too." So is a way to own it.
In preparation for the finale, rewatched the entire season. I watched the entire first 13 episodes on Wednesday, which was an experience. Mm-hmm. But going back and rewatching the first episode, especially when it was Mistress and Irene sniping at each other, especially, and everyone thinking that they were enemies, and Mistress being like, "I just keep expecting these other girls to snipe back at me, and they don't." And Mistress, especially as a competitor this season, felt like someone who was very aware of how you get screen time. And I think that's where a lot of her more pedantic drama even probably came from, was not even real genuine pedantry, but like, if I kick some dirt, I'll be on screen and they'll put it on air. And that's the game. It is a game show, and that's how you play the game show.
It's to win.
And on top of that, there is a tradition of reading and shade and an understanding that you can roast, you can cut pretty hard and still love somebody. And there is a constant balancing act because some people come from deep, strong drag traditions and drag families where you can say something really horrible, but the people around that you've taken the time to think about them and find the funny, horrible thing to say means that you love them and that you're family. And then there are especially a lot of younger queens and queens that like become social media queens who just think it is mean. They don't have a lot of other drag influences. And, you know, they're not necessarily wrong. And it is perfectly acceptable to be somebody who says like, that hurts my feelings, please don't. It's this constant balancing act because people will clap back when you say, please don't. And at the same time, those queens that say their feelings are hurt, I do think sometimes really miss how much things are being said in a jest that is part of the tradition. And it's just really fascinating to see in these later years as a whole generation of, you know, queens who grew up with this show become old enough to compete, how the traditions are changing and expanding, and there aren't any right answers. Nobody's always doing the right thing. Nobody's always doing the wrong thing, but it is really fascinating to watch.
I think it also speaks a lot to how just queer culture has changed over the last 10 to 50 years, where I'm sure a lot of shade and that culture also came from, if we say it to each other first,
yes,
it is our joke.
Yes.
Whereas now it is acceptable to tell people, hey, you can't call someone a faggot. You can't say this. You can't bully this person anymore. And so we're having a lot more kids growing up without the bullying culture that even we grew up on, but so much worse before and before. And so it isn't really the same thing because it isn't really required in the same way either. You don't need to build the same armor as you used to because you don't really get the same attacks that you used to. So it's, you know, it's like you said, there isn't really a right or wrong answer on it. But it is interesting to note and something to be aware of, the way that we interact with each other, the way that we interact with the world continues to change so much in so many ways.
And, you know, it's something that I actually had a really hard time with drag. I struggled. I don't like meanness because I feel like the meanness that I've always had in me has been rightfully corrected. And the first time I heard the unbelievable Bianca Del Rio, I was like, shut your wicked mouth. And okay, he is so beautiful. And so I maybe gave him another second. And now I'm obsessed. I think he's amazing. And it's because the way he's mean, there's clear affection. And it's like, it's fascinating how the orientation of the cruelty kind of affects the understanding of it. But one of the things that I really love the most about having come to understand like reading culture and burn culture, when you do it right, the thing it gets from the person is a laugh. And that is the best reading.
Yep.
Nothing makes me happier than, I'm going to say it again, watching the beautiful Lucy LaDuca laugh at getting roasted. I love that.
And I think it's also a matter of, I remember watching that first episode with Bianca as well, and the difference in terms of, you know, what made me okay with it and what doesn't is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she immediately helped that person sew their friggin' garment. Like, if not that person, if not that exact person, she digs in and helps someone, and she is still an incredibly helpful, kind person. And that to me is what I love to see more of. It's one thing to be shady, but it's one thing to be shady and then also be kind of a cutthroat competitor. Then you're just kind of a jerk, and I don't care for that. And that had been what I was afraid of a lot too.
Absolutely. And speaking of cutthroat jerk for a second, I feel so bad because I completely forgot that when we originally tried to get this episode together, one of the things that we had sought to do was we had sought to have the incomparable and incredible Demanda Martini appear on the show. And one of the things that happened was, in learning how to schedule this show and learning what we want this show to be, we actually kind of lost track of reschedulings. And so the original time and date this episode was supposed to air, Demanda could not make it because the incredible Demanda is never just sitting around. She's got bookings, dear. And but when the schedule moved, we never had the opportunity to re-engage with her and see if she would be available. But we did say that we are fans of, especially in this unforgivable time, where drag queens who are only seeking to make art, make people happy, bring kindness, beauty to the world, and sometimes, if they're Adore Delano, basically be the human embodiment of Ray's cigarette. But but she might be one of the best, like, in terms of quality of tone, one of the best vocalists I have ever seen on any reality show. Like, she's maybe not the best talent, like she's not the most talented technically, but the quality of her tone is something that you can't even possibly learn from a vocal trainer ever.
And again, are we making fun? Yes. But do we also love her? Like, yeah, I also love doing the pheromone. Oh, like it's silly and sweet and fun, and it's so much better than we thought.
Well, so speaking of silly and fun and amazing, and if you want to go see a silly, fun, amazing time full of incredible art, brilliant performances, and some rather recognizable, unbelievable drag queens, you guys can check out Demanda, the unbelievable, alongside the amazing Dax, who has, of course, been on RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's our next season that we're watching with you guys.
I'm so
thrilled.
Wow. Now, this is going to be, this amazing X-Men themed drag show and queer dance party is going to be at the Get Down on May 20th. It's going to be incredible. You definitely want to check that out. And if you're interested in seeing Demanda, all of these appearances are in the DMV, right? They're in the DC Metro, Virginia area, Maryland, right? That whole situation.
Delmarva, Steven Universe.
And Demanda Martini, a great lover of all things nerd and cool. So you can check her out at any of these amazing performances. And if you like these performers, check out their social media. Please give them a follow. Demanda can be found at Demanda Martini, just like it says on all of her amazing materials here. Please do check her out. She's brilliant. And speaking of, please do check him out. He's brilliant. And maybe I'm just biased because, you know, he's my pup. But we have a voice joining us, and he is the first and foremost voice that threatened to violently shake me to get me into drag. And I think he's been surprised by some of the queens that I have been boners over. But can you bring him in really quick? Because I just need him in the room when I say this. From the moment she appeared on screen, everyone in this room can back me up. I looked at Valentina and I said, she is the most evil, untrustable bitch you have ever seen. I cannot stand her. She is literally pure evil.
Yes, and he did.
The Kevo was like, you need to calm down. And
you did need to calm down.
And Jonah wouldn't say a word. And when we got to Mask Gate, I don't know that I lost my voice from how hard I screamed. I was in my screaming era.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one broke you a little bit.
I was days, Jonah, for days. So hey kiddo, say hey.
Hey everyone.
And props to Jonah for being my steadfast partner in crime in demanding that we make this watch happen, and helping me steward these two lovely gentlemen through their drag race birth canal.
The drag race era.
Drag birth era.
Special shout out to TK for someone that, because I have been showing some of my friends drag race seasons, and it's always fun when I get to watch with them. So I'm not, if they ever see this, I'm not damaging that. But it is different when it's queer people watching this queer art show and queer art talent, program, and like you kind of just it's a different level of understanding is what it is. And
the joy on your face when I react to a song that they use.
Yeah.
And the fact that I have, I had TK to bounce off of to talk about my love of the show that I didn't literally never spoken to anybody about before, in person at least, and the fact that I now get to share it with them, these two lovely guys. Oh nope.
I literally had a conversation where I was like, I need
Yeah.
to always be in the same spot so that I can point in the right way.
We gotta lock it down so everybody knows precisely where to point.
I didn't realize my camera was mirrored. I had to write my mirror message.
Now, I believe we have another voice joining us, and
Yes,
we're gonna
wait. Be here shortly.
We're gonna wait to launch our Every Queen in 90 Seconds till we have our next voice. But like,
Deal.
I do want to ask Jonah, you, and TK, you, a little something about the season that I would be curious if you guys would want to try doing going forward. We have developed a program we call bracketeering, like they do in Milan, and I'm really excited to continue on in my drag delusion and no one cares about Lotus. I would be really interested in doing also real quick, just to this is an original mix of Goddess just for Sasha Colby because she, oh my god, every
we love her.
I mean, there were literally performances where I was howling and saying it's like the best art I've ever seen in my life, and just I had to immediately pay tribute to a goddess.
And you nailed it, frankly. This is banging.
But so, would you guys be curious and interested in doing an actual RuPaul's Drag Race March Madness bracket?
Like for the next season or for this one?
For the next season.
Yeah.
Like we're straight football men. Oh.
Like straight football men.
Well, March Madness is basketball.
I don't think Kevo cares.
Flipping straight. Okay. All Jonah
I know is that
over
it's
here. I'm
it's
Mr.
Final
Sports
Fantasy
Boy.
Sports. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I just found out I had a gay uncle, a distant uncle who used to live in a ranch in Texas, and he and his best friend used to raise dogs.
Lesbians.
I think it'd be a lot of fun to out how we think the season's gonna go, and whoever's closest gets the golden glove to mirror the golden boot.
So in this case, would we be, so I can imagine doing two things. One, taking all previous queens and putting together a bracket of like the best of the best and who would compete out of a 16 of all the queens ever. Or if we were to go next season, we just go on Look Alone and say, who we think will be the bottom two first time around, second time around, and how we get to the end.
Both.
I only wish we could know the challenges in advance, because then we could be like, oh yeah, because like, we're gonna go in and be like, this bitch right here, she's the new Sasha Colby. And then she's going to be like, also, can Sasha Colby please have a drag king's son, Colby Jack?
But look how much we were all like, oh my god, Irene is the queen of this season. And clearly the editors thought so too. But
I was certain until she walked away that it was going to happen.
I thought she was going to come back. I really thought there was going to be a twist if she was going to come back.
Me too, because they have done that. A lot of the previous seasons have had an element of like even getting fully eliminated and walking out and still coming back to like restart the season. So
I do want to point out that speaking of people who are coming in to start the season,
yes,
I believe we have our final delusionist.
We sure do.
Our final goddess. Our final
drag delusion,
fashion giver, and none for Lotus goodbye. Jake Tay,
good dance though.
Come play.
Oh hello.
Oh hey.
Oh hello.
Oh hi.
Jake Tay, you stay.
How we all doing?
Yeah,
we're good. How are you?
Oh, here, present, accounted for. Really, really happy about the outcomes.
Yeah, I am too. I'm pretty excited. So, okay, I know you weren't here for part of it, but we have a couple of games today. We're going to talk about each queen in order of elimination in 90 seconds or less.
Oh, no.
So, and by or less, I mean it's going to be 90 seconds on the.
It's
What is with some of these images? I just want to be like, some of your straight sonas are actually repressive.
Yeah.
Like,
I actually wonder where this image specifically came from, and if all of these are just grabbed from their Instas /
I would
like
imagine
Yes,
so.
they are.
headshots.
Yeah.
Most likely a fan was like, this is what everybody had to drag.
Yeah.
And then
Goodness gracious.
some of them are stunning men, and like nobody's like,
That's a
"Oh,
great
man,
shot of
you're
Marsha."
such a bad look." Like, I'm not coming for anybody. It's just like some of these are not the photos that these men, even if they are very clearly handsome in the photos in this male presentation of themselves, these are not the photos they would want. But like, and I like,
Mistress.
nearly, how did you? Every guy I've ever dated looks just like Mistress. I have no idea
Yep.
what to say about this.
Yeah,
I literally.
that's Marco.
That is half of my exes right there. No shit. Like every guy I ever dated looked. just
Princess
like that.
Poppy looks like Joe Goldberg from You. Like, what's that about?
Selena out of drag. Boy, you could get it. I don't know why I'm playing this game, but anyway, we're gonna do the drag queens in 90
That's a different game.
We already pointed out that if you did a Nico horny edit, it's just the whole episode.
Yeah,
So,
it's just every episode has a horny. Yeah,
all right, so
we need a horny horn for you.
Ooh, like a sound effect.
Nico's running the episode.
I have something like that. I've got the.
Oh,
Oh my god.
That sounds
I
like
love
dong alert though.
that's a sproing if ever I heard one.
It's from Super Mario World.
Oh yes.
All
Yes,
right.
she is.
I'm gonna set my timer to 90
Okay.
seconds,
All
and
right.
Kevo, you're gonna put the image up.
Oh, you're timing it?
Everybody-
Okay, great. Good for me.
Good for you. You just got to do the image, handsome.
Yeah,
Everybody.
I'm good. I'm done.
So, and mostly Jonah and Jake, who have had the least opportunity, but just get in there. Say your
And-
piece. Talk these girls.
Don't forget, though, we will also be discussing each queen somewhat more in depth once we get to the bracketeering, because we will
Yes.
want to be talking about their weaknesses and strengths in whatever battle they will be in against each other. So this is just quick 90-second thoughts, knowing we're going to be going a little bit deeper once we throw them in the cage together.
And I need to be clear that the battles are things like first person in the Dust Bowl, second person in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, who survives. So,
Yeah,
like,
I
they
didn't
are-
read the questions. I'm so excited.
They are the questions are very unhinged. So we will be going deep, but laterally. So if you want to get to standard deep points, this will probably be your best bet.
God, how is Mr. so fucking handsome? What the fuck?
You know, honestly,
It's a
just a
great
real
shot.
quick aside, I really do feel like confessionals do not do any queen any favors, and
No, not at all.
always
Not if
blows
that's
my
the
mind.
option.
yeah,
No, and we might as well, on that point, be starting at the very beginning with this confessional look here.
All right, I'm hitting start. Go. I never got it.
Oh,
Sorry.
I completely got it. I mean, it's
got it.
unfortunate because I think had she been able to stay, she would have been such a strong competitor.
I got it. I love it. Her drag sister is one of my favorite drag queens. I love Bosco. I love Bosco so much.
Yes, Boss was great.
So I got it. I love it. Very excited to see her on a future All Stars. Probably the first eliminated with one of the best packages ever seen. One of the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
complete packages for a first elimination.
But if you didn't follow her, how would you know? I mean, all I got was
Yeah.
she went after the young queen who didn't have quite a 40-inch wig and like went hard for that.
You and me,
like,
handsome.
Is that the best hill
Yeah.
to die on the first episode?
The
Is
first
my-
day.
It did kill
Yup.
her.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. She died on that hill, and I didn't follow her after that. Sorry.
I do love her corrupted
Like a-
magical girl look, though.
Yeah.
She always kind of reads like a corrupted magical girl
Yeah.
meets Robin Konnichiwa.
Yeah.
And
I
for
just
someone who
love-
could have,
Go ahead.
No,
For someone
20
who could
seconds
have
for final
been-
thoughts.
for someone who could have been the star who was cut so early on, I feel like she was ultimately a lot more gracious than I would have expected. She could have gone real unhinged.
Not a bitter pill at all.
No.
Stunning
Ah!
finale look.
Not as sure she could have been.
I think
Okay.
she really would have brought the balance in terms of
And you're
tradition.
done.
Traditional. That was a good no. We got it. Traditional.
I believe in the timer. I will shut myself up mid syllable.
All right.
I followed that thought entirely.
And here it
Princess
is.
Poppy, sleeper hit for probably one of the funniest and smartest queens.
Yeah.
I genuinely think a lot of what she references and what she wants to do, I really understand it. I get the comedy, I get the humor. I don't know if it always will translate to things like Drag Race, but really fun time gal that I would love to see in like a comedy show of some sort.
I feel really bad, but I want to watch his sitcom, not his drag.
Yeah,
I don't even want to
drag
watch
sitcom.
him. I want to watch his drag written sitcom, but I'm more interested in his writing than I am in his performance.
I don't find I'm homophobic as funny as other people do, though. So that's part of where I'm coming from on this one.
But I did find I'm quitting drag. You're welcome. Very funny.
And her drag performance as one of the cast members of Melrose Place, I guess, in the finale was also really good.
This is a reference
that's
to
Rebecca Glasscock.
Season 1, there was a contestant, Rebecca Glasscock, walked in this exact outfit. And it is a reference to that, and it is the best reference.
Was she doing the Padma Lakshmi costume?
We're in the reference
a big
era.
Part of the reference is that it was just such a different show back then. That was drag back then.
It was drag. Drag was the t-shirt and the jean and the nice shoe.
Yeah.
This was drag.
I just want to say that not Amethyst up here did a great job.
Her talent was amazing. She was funny.
The curse of being one of these early eliminated queens is if you don't follow them off the show, then who is she though? And she had that really great
and we're done.
Armworm. We're going on an armworm.
Oh no, I have to.
It's so
I have
good.
to refresh the page to be able to scroll. Hold on, sorry.
That's okay.
Who we got next? We got Sugar.
I'm hitting play on this one, and I'm just gonna dive in. You know what?
God.
I've never seen two people with a better sense of humor about themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know when they picked it up, but truly, to say something I've added to my repertoire, you have a blessed day because I am going to as well.
They're just so young.
They are very young. They are the worst, but they know they're the worst, and nobody who is the worst knows they're the worst. So
that helps a lot.
Well, and this is a great thing about these queens who were brought up on these internets is that they've been the comment section. They learned how to withstand the comment section. Their whole life is now, I don't care about the comments. I've heard it all before. I've said it all before. So, you can't take me down. And I do respect that. I don't know that I love the drag look, but I respect the attitude.
And from what all of the queens have talked about, that the twins are literally some of the biggest drag supporters. They're the nicest people. They have such a great brand. They know what they're doing. They know what they're trying to sell. They know their shtick. They know their canned bits. They know exactly what they're doing. They are some of the smartest marketing queens I think we've seen, and especially great for some people so young. It's good for them.
Their Sugar Snatch game was bad. So there is a degree to which
I used to love Sugar Snatch.
There is a degree to which sometimes the product is just bad.
Okay, and you're done.
I'm glad that's the note we ended on because we said so many nice things, but I do think they needed that read.
I didn't get to go. Sugar's the hot one. Okay.
You know what, Amethyst?
I didn't know Andy Samberg did drag.
I did, and I did not realize it was so ugly.
Who this is reminding me of? Is it Noah Galvin? I think it's Noah Galvin, actually. A pale Noah Galvin.
I actually do find him very handsome, both in out of drag, and I think he is very beautiful in drag. It's that he reads like Tim Hunter from the Books of Magic, trying to do drag, and I just can't take it seriously.
It's half the time I find him very funny like this, but then half the time it's this, and I don't even know what Pan Mom is. But I didn't find it funny, and so I don't know.
And then here's him as a Buffy
villain. She needs a little more improv experience, I think. I think she's got a lot of great foundation, a lot of good stuff in her core foundation. She's just got to grow. She's
lots of natural talent, but she is not very well trained and not experienced.
Incredible timing.
That's all the natural stuff. Now you got to go get a teacher and somebody who will tell you you have to go beyond just having natural talent.
Okay, Jonah, go.
I think she's really funny. I'm looking forward to seeing her blossom and evolve, and really once she gets, the money from being on Drag Race, the beautiful package, the better, outfits, everything. She has what she needs to be a successful entertainer already, which is the personality and the entertainment chops, which is great. Just everything else could always just be amped up.
I'd pair her with Poppy in terms of shows. I would love to see what they could come up with together.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next.
They were sat next to each other in the finale.
Yeah, I noticed that. We got Robin Fierce. Hey, girl. Why do you keep doing that?
Beautiful.
I felt bad that the storyline for her and Amethyst was we used to date, and that was so much of like. Robin's
both of them are like, why?
On. Yeah, it's. I like Robin's looks a lot. For a lot of them.
Robin had a beautiful presence and air and some great looks and everything. She was very dull, and it felt like she was so tight and controlled and so needed to be this one specific image of herself that she could not let loose.
Ah, my queen!
And therefore, we just never got a side that I really was compelled by.
And I think that she and Marsha served similar energy functions in the cast, and either Marsha could have gone home earlier or she could have, and but they're both wonderful and great performers, but I don't think either of them were necessarily cut out to make it to the final four anyway.
Yeah.
It was just,
I just wish that the first 8, oh my God. I just wish that the first 8 queens eliminated go into a secondary competition called
and that it wasn't a Lollapalooza.
Miss Bridesmaid or Miss Runner-Up, something that's you didn't win the real crown, but girl, we're not done seeing your amazingness yet, because each one of these women, it sounds so dumb. They changed my life, and Robin was one of them. I forgot we were on a timer. I'm sorry.
I just wish that we got to see a little bit more of her. I feel bad that she was, victim of the very invisible edit. There's a lot of queens.
I'm sorry, you're done. I'm sorry.
That's not a bad thing to end on for her.
Yeah.
I forgot we were on a timer. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Aura. We got Aura Mayari.
I said TK go off.
I mean, if trying to have muscles were a personality, I'd be much more successful, Aura. I've been doing this longer. Trust me.
If trying to have muscles were a personality, I would have one.
Right. The most beautiful dude.
I really feel it.
I can't stop. Anyway.
Dance is great.
Yes.
And I love his fan.
Dances.
Clearly some talent. They are from he is from Nashville, she is from Nashville, so I really respect that they kind of have to be at the forefront of this stuff and have been
one of the many people this season where this was their weakness.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
games have been rough the past few years.
I thought that was Momer Valderrama. Okay, Jonah, go.
Aura, great entertainer, great dancer. I'm sure a live show would be one of the most amazing things. Has a really great makeup skills, obviously very gorgeous. Knows exactly what she wants to do, what it looks like. Personality, I think got a weird edit of being very cocky, but when you actually get to know her, she's a little bit more reserved and actually nervous kind of person. I think maybe that might have been a little bit more endearing if we got to see that side of her on the show a little bit more. Great queen.
Take us home.
You take us home.
Take us home.
Oh, take us
home.
Oh, I actually really agree with what Jonah said. My read of her with the edit was that she, kept talking a big game and never showing up with it.
Okay, we're done. I'm sorry. Someone talk first. That isn't me.
Jake, did you ever see how she reminds you so much of Kyle?
No, I think that was you.
Never mind.
Okay.
Love you.
Jake first.
I think it's awesome to do that.
Oh, love, and got eliminated way too soon. I could have watched Jax all through the end. Although I love her. I know she's not top 4 material, but this was really exciting to see this queen early on her journey. Funny, great dancer, working on those makeup skills, girl. I'm so excited to see her in All Stars, to win in All Stars down the line.
Somebody who's got a lot of talent, one of the best dancers, one of the best entertainers, movers. Her flexibility, her movements are some of the cleanest I've ever seen on anybody moving. The way she could kick up from heels, from a high heel to stand, it's great. I also love and respect. She said after the show ended, she threw everything out and said, "We're starting from scratch. We're going to do this." And ever since then, I think she's continuing to show growth and really pushing herself in what she wants to do for drag. And I'm excited for her future.
I like that she's a thick girl. I really love that. Like, she's muscular and powerful, but she's like, it's body positive muscle power.
And tiny.
And tiny. Yeah, everything about her. She's so high energy. I just love her.
You guys said all the nice things, so I can say all the nice things. The talent, it's another one. So much raw talent, a lot of training needed, a lot of cutting loose.
Kevo, finish this out.
Some of the outfits, not great. Need some work on that. I get what she was going for, but they look a little preschool.
I love having the timer, to be honest. Okay, best seat filler in the entire world. They kept sitting next to Sugar and Spice, so this was just hysterical. I just kept being like, "I'm bored. Put me in the shot. Hi guys." Amazing.
Wait, Spice was Miley, but Sugar went home first?
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes no sense to me.
I agree. I do not think
was so much worse.
I do not think the Trisha Paytas was worse than I think the Miley was worse.
Oh my god, so much worse.
Oh, are Sugar and Spice twins?
Listen, everything you say about Sugar applies to Spice. Even I personally like Spice's aesthetic, just a hair more, just a hair. And I keep saying this, and I said it last night, and I'll say it again. The fact that they never did a Parent Trap moment, I will never forgive them.
Or
never
Olsen
did anything twin. Yes, thank you. Nothing ever.
I think Spice ends up getting the better aesthetic, but it doesn't work if a Sugar doesn't also exist right next to her at all times.
Yeah,
they designed the aesthetic together, so it's really just a split. I completely agree with that comment, and I couldn't have said it better, TK.
But it's funny because Spice needs Sugar to live. Spice cannot get out of bed and survive without Sugar, and there's something endearing about that, man. She's great. I don't know how she's lasted this long.
I just want to know what Disney Surplus store they got all their wigs from. That's some cast member bullshit right there. Okay, next.
Yeah, but it looks good though.
While I'm transitioning slides, there's this cast photo, and it's got Sugar and Spice in their like dress down outfits, and Sugar is the one who's like wearing a tank top and looking all like buff, and Spice looks all like in a hoodie and folded in on herself, and so it's fascinating the way these things work.
The dynamics, man.
All right, I'm hitting play.
Now, next eight. The next
Malaysia,
eight.
baby doll, Fox. I really liked Malaysia. Actually, I was pro Malaysia the whole season. She let me down a few times with some of her behaviors, but I'm very positive on her performance. I really liked her. I thought she was talented.
Great to see the furry community represented.
That was
I think that should be her brand. These ears, they're so adorable.
Yes.
That I think it's great branding. An amazing makeup artist. I know that's what she does for a living, so it's obviously very clear. We can see the work. Surprisingly, I didn't expect this from her. Great actress. She was really funny in the acting challenge that they had to do.
Yeah.
So she's another one I'm excited to see where she'll go. I'm excited to see her, next season as handing off the reins of Congeniality.
Put her on Poppy's sitcom.
Favorite.
For me, I never connected with Malaysia. I feel like a lot of it was the fault of the show, but I don't think she fared well on the show. I don't think I could see the talent was there, but I didn't get to experience a lot of it on the show. And I don't think it was because she doesn't have it.
Guys, there's like 17 seconds.
Oof.
Oh, really? Not super surprised that she got Congeniality. And I think the fact that we have so little to say even speaks to Congeniality.
Yeah.
Because Congeniality is a consensus vote.
Done.
Not necessarily the actual Congeniality. Yeah, so I think that really spoke to it.
She was real sensitive.
She was very sensitive.
Big sensey baby. All right.
Marsha.
Unhumanly handsome, unbelievably beautiful. Kind of 3-note, but that Tim Gunn impression, speaking of my Project Runway fetish, I like her, but she's not at the top of my list. But girl, get that cosmetic line.
Yeah.
I mean, one half of one of the best lip syncs the show has ever seen.
Ever.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
the most amazing prop to jump over.
I was about to say
ever.
the best ottoman in history.
You know, there is something deeply disgusting, and I thumbs up way, about somebody whose entire brand was you don't wear enough makeup and your makeup's not very good, to completely unironically leave the show and be like, I'm starting a makeup line. And it's not even like a makeup line for girls who are just beginning. It's like, why wouldn't I do that? I'm the expert. That's gross, and I want to be like that.
Well, and like it also it kind of brings to mind to me like the whole Derek Barry problem. Like she never got clocked on that. She never got clocked on her makeup in a big enough way for me through the season. Like, where are her brows? I can see
early
her eyebrows.
on and then never again. It's like the first 2 to 3 episodes max, and then they really let up on her, but she didn't get better.
Nope.
She didn't get better.
They just
And
stopped bringing it up.
I can see her eyebrows. I'm like, no, I don't want to see her eyebrows. I want to see fake brows.
Jonah, go.
I'm going to be very positive. I love Marsha. She's queen after my own heart. I love the Broadway queens. Phenomenal dancer. I would love to go see her live in a show.
Love it.
Yes.
I would love that too.
Me too.
Selena.
This is probably one of the most charismatic queens I think we've had on the show. She seems like a bundle of joy and light, and like she's just having so much fun. Really great entertainer. Gave us the unironic lip sync assassin of the season if we're going to have to give it to somebody.
True.
She has some of the best lip syncs. She did really, she brought what she brought and she did what she did. And I enjoy this queen.
We literally say "find your light" to each other
several
times a day.
All the time.
I will also say most polarizing in a lot of ways, because Jonah, I agree with you, but sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy because I see so many commentaries just saying how terrible she was and how much people didn't like her. And I just adored her. I connected with her so much.
As a Latino that nobody takes seriously as a Latino, I really I felt like nobody was saying that I wasn't Latin for a second.
And I think it's stuff like this, though. I think she was also very brash and very crass at times, and I think that can rub people the wrong way. I did not enjoy rewatching this Snatch game. There were very few performers that I enjoyed from it, which is very disappointing.
It was
for a double Snatch game. For a double, there should be more. And this was she tried to take a lot of camera time with this birth scene.
Well, she's another one who's so sensitive and so bristly when someone tries to poke her, but not in an unfriendly way, but in like we're in this competition together kind of way.
And we're done.
And it can be a lot. I get you.
All right, next.
Here we go.
Oh gosh.
Okay, I don't even care. I loved Lucy. I was super hardcore for Lucy. I did not always love how she was treated, but I do think that it was, specifically cut. I thought she was great. Love you, Lucy. Love you. Love you. Love you.
She won in the end, man.
She did. That song is bangers for her.
Huge highs, huge lows. She owned up to basically all of it, more than I ever expected she would. Came out the other side looking pretty great, and I'm excited to see what she does next.
We were saying, good.
Oh, I was saying, this is one of those really interesting stories where someone got like what I don't think was the most sympathetic edit, but really has kind of turned that around. And she took that critique of generic and flipped it on its head with that finale look. Oh my God, that was an amazing finale look.
I love Lucy. Great. I love personally her drag aesthetic. I love that she loves, huge breasts and like a cinched tiny waist. It's very
pretty classic look.
Yes, very exaggerated. Really love that. Very funny. It seems like somebody who go to their live shows would be give them the mic for an hour. I'm sure they'll do amazing. Really excited to see what she'll bring for the future.
Absolutely.
I still just am not clear how delusional she is, like on the regular, how much is in the moment and how much is for play.
Also, especially in recent years, one of the best Snatch games.
What a great thing to end on Lucy for. That's how I want my Lucy LaDuca remembered.
So I got to ask, how are you sorting through Lux and Mistress for who was eliminated?
No question. I'm making my statement.
That is
fashion.
For the person who so specifically has such specific requirements for placement. Here you go.
I think it's really funny that her song is basically just Santino Rice running around the room going, "It's just fashion. It's just fashion."
From the
Relax,
second
it's
season
just
of Project
fashion."
Runway. Yeah.
Yeah. She rubbed me the wrong way several times with her personality, but I wasn't here to judge her personality in terms of like winning. I judged her personality for personal reasons, but her performances were incredible.
Yes.
Please go, Jake.
Oh, sorry. I normally don't like these young, overconfident queens. I don't know. Like, it's usually something that really, really, really turns me off. But maybe it was the jersey of it all. But I really liked Lux, and I was really riding this like maybe she's earned it, maybe she hasn't. And then when that lip sync came, I was like, okay, yeah, she got it. I enjoyed the ride with Lux Moore London. I don't necessarily think she had the best like congenial attitude, but she did have a great talking head situation.
And I found myself constantly wanting to root for her. It's not that I didn't want to, and there were constant glimmers of like this person that I could really love and relate to. When she showed kindness and poise, the video of the
I'm gonna cut it.
The real for real. Okay.
And then Jonah, you got 1 second.
Somebody who's so young has really a really great package. I don't know if Lux is always going to be for me, but I think there is something to say for somebody who is so young and what Lux represents for so many different people. How much of a don't give a F attitude she has is pretty astounding.
All right, and who's next? Mistress.
Who else?
Drag Delusions, go.
Honestly, Mistress, I think you look at a lot of past season of Drag Race, and most recently, Mistress brought something that I think a lot of people wanted back, of somebody who was shady, push buttons, but genuinely had plenty of moments of showing kindness, showing poise, and was there to make good television and good TV.
I'm gonna debate you on the word plenty.
Yeah,
had moments.
Jonah, I do agree. Like, I think you really have captured all of the things that account for her season. Whether you agree with them or not, from a personal perspective, that is what the world as a whole saw and why she did as well with the audience as she did.
Yeah, we got to see both sides of her. We got to see the incredibly talented drag queen. We got to see the incredibly shady drag queen.
She's one that other drag queens will be saying how much they love her for years to come, and that's always a big thing I notice and pay attention to.
Although that Snatch game is very confusing.
Yeah, that was rough.
On rewatch, it actually, and maybe it's just in comparison to how everyone else did, but I was like, she's actually not doing that bad. But I think it's just the other competitors too. But she really went for it.
Nico, your silence is deafening.
It was the interpretation.
I'm just giving everyone else a chance to talk.
Oh.
All right, next performer. And go.
I mean, Mama, look at the material. The literal from the first episode, the breakout star. I don't think there has been somebody so beloved from the first episode as much as Anitra, and for her one of the best
without
performers
losing it for sure.
One of the best performers, a multitude of talents. My hot take is she should have won the acting challenge. The Daytona wins part 2. That's my personal hot take.
Yep.
Seems like somebody I absolutely want to go see live. That's literally I can't say too much more because I just go too long.
I mean, what a multi-talent, what a many pronged threat. Just from that very first performance, walking that duck, breaking those boards, just stunning. Like, what a great
and another one that seems like such a kind person too, and so humble and grateful for this opportunity.
I'm just gonna keep going because I couldn't possibly say all the wonderful things I have to say.
Love the scar motif too.
Also,
my goodness.
The surprise funniest confessionals in the entire world.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
She's one of those queens that doesn't need Drag Race. I mean, she's just going to do amazing things either way.
And we're time. All right. And our last queen lady. And go.
Mother.
The
Mother.
blueprint.
It's loading, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Anitra. There's so much you really can't say. It's just, she's everything. You know, she's inspirational and amazing, and this has made sense from the very beginning.
She is somebody that a lot of people have wanted on the show for a very long time.
Mhm.
And for somebody who had a lot of weight of expectation, wow, did she deliver in a way that makes me invigorated for the entertainment field in a way that I haven't been in a while.
Yep.
I don't think we've seen a queen just like effortlessly float right to the top so quickly as like, I don't know.
Don't spoil anything.
Where are we with our
It's
reviews,
gonna
people?
happen, but
Did I accidentally?
Don't worry.
Have we watched season?
Don't worry.
Okay. Well, anyway, since another queen who I really like and have seen several times in their own personal show, it was really, really just wonderful just to get her character, get her insight, get into her head a little bit, and to see her perform and see what kind of multifaceted entertainer she is. She's incredible. She's the best of the best.
All right, and that is time. That was all of the ladies in 90 seconds ish. All right, now I think TK, you're in charge of the next bit.
It's all me, huh? All right, guys, we have a very unique bracket coming up. So typically, when we do a bracketeering segment, we say, we put together our list of 8 or 16 or however, or 32, however many it's going to be. And then we say who would win in a fight, or, what show would you rather see? For this particular bracket, and also we curate the selection because we don't want it to be like just all randoms. A lot of pairings kind of don't make sense. It is very much the opposite for the Drag Race bracket that we are about to do. We did a totally random pairing, and on top of that, for each pairing, they're going to get a specific question that applies just to that pairing. And as we go down and eliminate, when we get to the next pair, when we go from 8 to 4, we will have different questions for the next 2. And this is just kind of to have some fun and talk a little bit about these amazing girls. So give me one moment just to get my screen going. And right off the bat, our first pairing, Robin and
Actually,
Anitra.
I was gonna say before we do this, I realized I jumped us out of order, and we actually didn't say the finale winner, among other things. So I realized I got a little too excited. So I'm just gonna actually first say let's cue a quick commercial.
Sure.
And come back from there. But I also, in that minute, want to say, don't forget that if you like what you're seeing, you can always like and subscribe to more content here on the X is for Show network, where you can check out comics every week. You can check out media responses like our amazing Super Mario Brothers, this crazy piece, and more wonderful shows coming. So don't forget to check those out, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And when that commercial's ready, commercial me. Okay, we're back, and this time I'm not going to skip stuff. Finales. So how did everybody feel about the finale? Right winner. Every song was good, but Lotus. And I have a lot of things to say. And I'm
Lotus wasn't even bad. It was just not anything
Lotus.
really compared to the other two.
I love the message of it a lot.
Yeah,
It was fantastic for a standard set of Drag Race finale songs where everybody is lip syncing to something that they did not perform.
If there was a troll doll of Ava Max called Ava Min, that would have been her song.
But here's part of the thing. As we were watching the finale, we were all like, why is everyone performing original? This is crazy. And then we realized, oh, it's so Lucy LaDuca doesn't have the biggest song of the season.
And then Mistress flat out says it in the finale, let loose, I'm coming for you.
And so because they were then supposed to be so much more show-stopping, I think that's part of where I felt a little bit let down by Anitra's, where it didn't really have the same impact as the other three.
I just don't get why it wasn't even spoken word for her. You know, she can rap. I don't.
A rap.
And that she had so many references, that she had the biggest thing, which was walking that duck. I don't get it. And, you know, that's a bit of a bummer. But otherwise, stellar finale. I think sometimes the only like slight, it can be tough in seasons where you're like, well, that's the winner in episode 1. And there just never was really any doubt. I thought for a while she might get the kind of Alyssa Edwards, she leaves at top 5 to go do her own thing because she's kind of bigger than the show, but they really leaned into like, Sasha is the winner that needs to win, that must win. It is her destiny. She is the Messiah. And I love that. But just like by the time you get to the finale, you're like, yeah, we all knew that 10 episodes ago.
And I think it was kind of highlighted in their songs. Like, Anitra's was sort of like, look how beautiful I've become. But the whole fandom was like, we've always thought you were beautiful. And it's so beautiful that you feel beautiful now. And I'm not knocking the message of the song, but it lacked.
This is for you, Anitra.
Yeah, it was for her, not for the audience. And then that was the moment Anitra needed. And I'm so happy we got to be here for that moment for her. Lux's song was about how Lux lacked substance and made a lot of references.
Well, she's so young.
I was young too. And when I was young and I made decisions like committing things to video, I was then faced with, well, that's on YouTube for the rest of your life. And when you choose to be on a reality show that you have studied for years, and if she hasn't studied it for years, then she's a very quick learner with the number of references she made, because I've only seen like 5 seasons and I'm like, girl, that's a lot of references. That's so many references. I wanted to send her an MLA handbook to get them organized.
God.
Well, I think you really highlight the problem though. Like, she is young and she is putting things on the internet and on TV, and she doesn't necessarily realize how she comes across. Even when you've been watching the show, she's still young. She doesn't know all the ins and outs of reality TV, or didn't going into this. There's still so much that you can't know until you're there in front of the camera with producers screaming at you. I mean, she's
But then why don't we give that same? But then why don't we give that same pass to like an older person? Because if you can't know till you're there, then you can't know till you're there because the experience is unique. But the issue is she went to a performing arts school. She was bred for this.
I think decades of practical life experience adds something else to a person, such that you're a little more prepared to deal with the scrutiny of an audience that you can't see and have no idea how to process.
Well, if I can meet you both in the middle, I think she's not really gonna. The thing she's gonna regret most is that she didn't win. I don't think she's really going to. I think a lot of things that we all look at and are like, "Oh, girl, why'd you do that?" She's not going to think about again or care about, and I think, and maybe she ought to. I won't say that one way or the other, but like, she is now on her journey. I think the critiques are reasonable. I don't think she particularly cares about them. And the question is, will she ever reach a point where she looks back and goes, oh God, I wish I'd been paying more attention? Or will she just kind of continue till the confidence meets the sort of product of the confidence?
For me, to bring, I think, a decent analogy, it's one thing to study really hard for a test. It's another thing to actually sit down for the test.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that Lux is referential. I love that the show means everything to her. She's, we're seeing more and more of these drag queens that grew up with Drag Race, that watched it from, a very young age, and they were like, that's what I want to do. And Lux is kind of like the success story of like how much talent you can be at so young. One of the best seamstresses and designers, one of, incredible looks, great dancing, great entertainment. And I do think there is something I can respect about somebody who literally just exudes confidence. But I think there's definitely a way to pare it back in a way that it reaches everybody, and everybody can say that they love Lux. And she's somebody that I will definitely keep my eye on. Of like, let's see what you can do.
Well, and here's the only thing I want to see what she can do, but I refuse to be called stupid, and she called me stupid repeatedly, because you can't not know what you're doing and do so many intentionally mean things and say, I had no idea you were going to think it was mean after you told me doing that 6 times was mean. So you either know what you're doing or you don't. And then if you don't know what you're doing, then you didn't study the show and you don't know how things are perceived. Because listing the confident, positive things about 3 people and then saying why one person is just generic is intentional. And to say, I don't know what I was thinking, it definitely wasn't an intentional mean thing. No, that's actually playing the game that she said she never does. So it just does start to be, you either are smart or you're not, and I can't let you be both. You can't be so young but brilliant for it and too dumb to know that you're cruel.
I don't know. I feel like that's what youth is.
As a teacher of 16-year-olds, they say to me, that's messed up. Like, legitimately, I have too much experience with 16-year-olds that say to me, like Lux's behavior is bullying and it's banned in schools.
It maybe even is to a degree what youth is, but that's not an excuse for the behavior. It's more like you need to learn and grow up. We don't say in the opposite direction that people who are old are stuck in old mentalities because that's how they grew up and it's hard to change. Like, we can make excuses for anyone of any age demo as to why they might be this, that, or the other thing, but that doesn't make the behavior okay.
This is, and I don't see it.
Someone who is so into Drag Race and has watched 14 seasons of it, so she knows what the behavior is. So she knows what people do tolerate and what they don't. So it's all this huge tapestry of, are you a huge fan who knows everything about Drag Race, so you know how to perform, or are you young and stupid and don't know what you're doing?
I mean, I don't think of it as an excuse so much as that this is how I understand her behavior and why she behaved the way that she did, because she is incredibly smart. She does not have a good filter when it comes to interpersonal relationships, and she is somewhat narcissistic in the way she conducts herself. That also is not like unusual for someone of that age and at that point in personal development, and someone who is like put themselves on who's put themselves on the track to be a spectacle in life and is trying to get that attention on themselves. I'm not saying that it's good behavior. I'm saying like it's understandable. Like, I get it from given the context that we're being given for this person's life and how they read themselves as well.
But again, right. I return to the point of like, I kind of agree with everything everybody's saying. And what I'm curious about is this going to affect her career? And whether or not I think it should, and kind of, whether or not I think there deserves to be some comeuppance. I don't even care about that so much because not everybody gets what they deserve. I'm really curious, is getting better going to pay dividends, or is not getting better going to result in a situation where, she just gets to kind of push through it because fame gives you the opportunity to do so. It'll be interesting to see.
What direction she goes.
Exactly.
Roxy Andrews was still popular after her season, but she was still a villain in her season. But then when she went on to All Stars, she bought herself back, and she showed a softer, kinder side that an audience really learned to love. I suspect that if Lux gets onto a season of All Stars and shows a bit of maturity, growth, maybe a little softer side, maybe a capacity to support her sisters in a gentler and more empathetic way, then this conversation might be, oh gosh, remember when she was just so difficult and so
when she was a baby.
And that's all I said I wanted. I just said that her behavior up through now is the behavior of a bully and the behavior of a person who misrepresents truth in a gaslighting manner, saying that she had no idea what she was doing. I want that growth. But what I saw is an immature child, and I'm not here to root for an immature child on television. Her performances were amazing, but her behavior was subpar conduct.
Yeah, and I'll root for you when you do the growing up, but I am not here to root for people who behave badly even when they are good artists. I think we are having a lot of trouble with that lately, where people are like, but their art is so good. And I'm like, well, there's lots of really good artists, though. I would rather a really nice person who is very talented have the space that person is filling up if they can't be nice to other people. I don't think it's worth the bad behavior, personally.
Meanwhile, I completely softened on Mistress.
They made a turn on her edit at a certain point, I feel,
Whereas
too.
I feel like they took all of the malice, and that's part of it. Like, and that I really want to say, this is all about the edit, actually. No. This is that they chose to cut everybody else's mean language and leave in all of Lux's mean language. And this is that they chose to stop cutting in Mistress's mean language and keep cutting in Lux's mean language. So this really is a result of what they chose to show us. Lux could be the kindest person on the set. We don't know.
Right.
And so anything I'm saying is based on the character that they have provided of the person that exists. And the character of Mistress was softened extensively at the midpoint.
Because I do think that they wanted her to be a legit contender.
And I will say, regardless of whatever, I think she was a contender.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think she brought a package that, she talks about in the first episode that she talks about she comes up and she grew up with old school drag, that very, very standard, that, it's the big hair, the big makeup, the big outfit. Everything is big, everything exaggerated. You know how to dish it, you know how to take it, you know when to be kind, you know when to show that compassion. And she talked about it being a dying art form because I think because drag is becoming accessible in ways of anybody could do drag. You could be a bedroom queen, you could be a social media queen. Not everybody has to go through the club system and fight their way up for the respect for the previous generation of drag queens that were there and learn through that way. And I think her showcasing that, and somebody who's so young, I think really showcases that that art form shouldn't be dying. There's room for it. It should still be revered. It should still be respected. And as I said in the 90 seconds, she brought something again of she knew exactly what she was doing to make a great TV show, what to do to get great airtime, great confessionals, just knew exactly what to do to be a star. And it's something that I can at least I can respect of, you knew what you were doing, and that's pretty great.
If not respect, understand, for sure. You can see that is what the competition is.
Yeah.
And she's so talented. Oh, I was gonna say, she's just like beyond just the traditional pageant stuff that she was bringing to it. I loved seeing her flex her versatility. That beach ball club kid look was incredible. That was probably one of my favorite looks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and off the cuff, a very funny person, them showing that highlight reel clip of her just going through all of these lines, throwing out what will stick and cracking Rue up, shows that she is very quick-witted. She's very smart, a very smart queen.
Her performances constantly terrified me, though, because she was a headbanger, and I was always worried the wig was going to go flying.
She pinned that in. Those wigs were pinned in.
I used to be 300 pounds, and I got fit because I have a heart defect, and weight is a concern for my health. As I commented on at the beginning of the episode, oh my God, every guy I dated in college looks exactly like Mistress. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But Mistress made some comments about she can do any move that any of the smaller girls can do just as well. And I want to say, I don't think it's just as well. I think it's a different kind of beautiful. And I think it's a celebration of a different kind of movement, because even when a bigger girl imitates the movement style of a smaller girl, she still does it with a big, beautiful flair. And it's still a different kind of movement. And something that I could not get from the other girls was this beautiful big girl movement, this sense of the dance filling space as well as the stage. And that was just something that I think Mistress celebrated in every move in her finale number. You know, Drag Delusion structurally is exactly the same song as Goddess. Like AABA, the 3 count, the 6 count, the alternating, the alternating ta 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 ta. They are actually really parallel songs. And I think that hurt Mistress. But just what a beautiful big girl moving beautifully.
I think you're highlighting a thing that the show is kind of maybe failing on a little bit, that they seem to be doing more, not less, which is weird, which is that they're trying to be size blind and be like, everybody can do the same thing. And the fact is, everybody can't do the same thing regardless of size. Ableist. Bodies move differently in so many different ways. Nobody can move like Evie Oddly. And so we can specify and not say everybody is on the same playing field, but really say, you know, let's have some concept of nuance and not expect to evaluate Anitra and Mistress on the same type of dancing, but rather on bringing the same type of artistry to whatever it is they're doing. And just so much of it is like, we're all the same in the end. And that just doesn't work when it comes to the physical movement of performance. And it's something that I'd like to see the show figure out how to tweak in production so that we're not left with this thing where it's like, well, you know, Mistress, can you cartwheel?
And I think it's a specific point in his dance that, and a change that needs to pointedly be made. It makes me think of when Project Runway definitively was like, no, we are doing mixed sizes of models.
Yeah.
Complete variance throughout the entire group of models, every season going forward from now on. And they really have stuck to that. And it was a specific production change that they noted. And I think that Drag Race also probably needs to make some changes to be a lot more body inclusive definitively.
Yeah. So guys, what do you think? You want to get into some bracketing?
Oh, I just obviously that bitch is a genius.
Yeah.
That bitch is a goddess.
Yeah.
That bitch is pure greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And that bitch is all gracious because she shares this incredible art with us, and she believes it's her job to be all forms of woman made in Mother Crone, and she gives each one of them more deliciously than I can even stand. She is officially my favorite thing to come out of Hawaii over the Dole Whip. I am so grateful that she shares her talent with the world.
Kevo and Nico could attest to my face of just sitting there, slack-jawed.
Oh, it was the sweetest thing. I'll never forget.
Watching her perform. And, you know, I feel like that was my moment of everybody, the first time they see Sasha perform, I feel like it's what everybody else, like, they think that's what they do. From the finale number to the final lip sync, this was kind of Sasha unrestrained from the restraints of the specific space of where they filmed the main season. And
sorry, I thought you were gonna say Sacha Baron Cohen, and I was like, I need Sasha Colby as Borat.
I wasn't, but I'm glad you went there.
Very nice.
Now you need it, yeah.
But it was that is somebody who was born to entertain and like just knew exactly how to deliver everything. I props to you, mama, because I can't say anything else.
Her signature hair move in her performance earlier in the season was her playing with her hair. And then in the song where she calls, in a good way, and calls herself a goddess, it's other people doing the manipulation as a form of worship, getting in on what she's a part of. She is such a utilitarian who tells such a complete story with her every piece. Her snakeskin becoming the bed. The snakeskin that becomes just part of the stage when she does goddess versus the coat that becomes the bed that she transforms out of. She's such a utilitarian, which again is actually kind of like a Hawaiian thing, like because I'm Cuban and I know that like it's an island mentality. You don't know when more is going to come from somewhere else, so everything you do to make it every part of it. And she is such a complete performer. And she said, I don't have the world's greatest voice, so I'm going to do something that everyone can do, but I'm still going to do it in a way that not everybody can do it. That GODDESS is like so good. So good. I can't love her enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like problematic. Like, where do we go from here? We've just hit such a height of Queen, and all I can think about is I'm not worried about like how is the next Drag Race winner. I don't worry about that. I still want to watch the competition. I'm okay if the next one is not as impressive. That has absolutely happened in other seasons, but I really do think there were some big moments in this finale pointing to the legacy and some of the queens who are becoming that hierarchical mother figure, the goddess figure, and really elevating to a level that is going to mean that they are the leader and the tastemaker. And I'm so curious to see where it all goes. But I really do see Sasha as like the North Star in that constellation.
It's very nice.
Well, I'm thinking too about, what happens after RuPaul.
That's the thing that
and who will be the Queen of Queens. It's people like Sasha Colby, it's people like Jinx Monsoon. When you think about passing the torch, when you think about who's gonna represent drag for the next generation, and who's going to make sure it continues to iterate as this like limitless queer art form. It is people like Sasha Colby, and seeing her rise to the top and already as an already established leader in the community, but now having this international platform with, not just queer people, but like straight people who watch Drag Race. It's only going to expand her reach. It's only going to expand the reach of Drag Race. It's really exciting. It's really exciting to see such an important member of the drag community who is trans, become elevated in this particular political moment that we're in. Like, we need this year's queen, this year's crowned queen to be a trans queen. And just as much as we needed like those peeks into the bars that were doing viewing shows in states that are experiencing a lot of political oppression.
And the fact that Sasha's nickname was The Body, and she was so known for her sexuality, all of that was so important. I so am with you on all of that. And I had been feeling that all season, but that's never a guarantee of who's going to win. Mm-hmm. And it's such a needed win right now for someone who so deserves it, has such the poise and grace to carry the title.
And, Jake, I just want to jump on something you said that I think is so right. I would love it if someday World of Wonder and Drag Race were successful enough to be able to afford Jinx Monsoon's weekly rate to have her host. Girls equity. I'm like, wow, this is her meteoric rise. Like, yep. I mean, everybody just get in that wake because the
Drag Race will be her charity project.
Seriously?
Be like, tax deductible. It's okay, guys. I'm donating my time.
The last thing I would love to say about season 15, I think overall, an amazing season that was done a little bit dirty by stuff outside of their hands of network decisioning. We're waiting for the 90-minute cut of every episode. The real true villain of the season. World of Wonder, if you are listening, for every season that you have done this, I would pay so much money to see everybody else's crowning the film because everybody who's ever a finalist does get crowned. They film all of that. I want to see every single one of them. Well,
I did send a link in our group chat with Anitra's. So
and Anitra let out a bellow that can only be described as the spirit of variance's death cry. Okay, but now we have a game. Because Big Bro over here is the king of making stuff fun, and
I am the games master.
Thinking. Yeah. Well, and so my dream has always been to just be Goodman Todd. And I've just always wanted to be Merv Griffith, I guess, and make game shows for a living. And we are really turning this into a variety game show hour. I compose original music for every episode. We play games. This is just basically a good amount of me having fun time.
We're living the dream.
Yeah.
Let's get to it with these queens.
All right.
So like I said, this is an atypical bracket. There's a different question for each pairing, and there will be for each pairing all the way to the end.
I wrote the questions.
Nico did write the questions. They are nonsense. This whole thing is nonsense. Of course, like the next two are not going to get the same question. So when we get to the later rounds, you're going to be like, but how did that? It does not matter. We are just having some fun. And these questions are not like, who is the best? Who wore it better?
No.
Let me start, just get you all prepared. The first question for the pairing that we have of Robin Fierce and Anitra is, who is more likely to run off and join the circus?
I gotta say,
easy.
Anitra.
Of course.
Anitra.
100%.
You said it was
Robin
Fierce
and Anitra.
And Anitra. More likely to join the circus? Yeah, Anitra.
Like not even a question now.
You know,
Good for
the
Robin
only
being so
reason
dignified.
I would challenge it, and I'm not going to let these all take too long, but like Anitra, I sometimes feel like Anitra would be like, no, I'm really talented. I'm not going to just like run off and join a circus. I have a show in Vegas. Where Robin would be like, I'm so bored in Connecticut. I would love to be the belle of this circus.
The Best Buy 3-ring circus starring Robin Fierce, Ringmastress Supreme.
So
It sounds
you know,
a little
I
bit
don't
like
know-
Connecticut's fault too, though.
Las Vegas is a giant circus, though, and Anitra ran away to it.
No, she was born and raised there.
Oh, well, that's still.
I still like your version, Jake.
Thank you.
Well, anyway,
She ran away to it.
we clearly know who won. So right off the bat, we're giving it to Anitra.
Okay.
So next up, Lux and Miss Selena Estiris.
S titties.
Titties.
Very important question
I love
here.
your accent, for the record, Selena.
This is one we've really got to answer because I hope to find this out for myself one day. Who would make a better wingman?
Oh, Selena Estiris is going to get you laid so
Hold
much
on.
harder than
Hold
Lux.
on. You say that with such confidence.
Because and can I tell you why? Because I don't think Lux goes to the bar to be a wingman. I think Lux goes to the bar to be a star. Like, Lux isn't there to be selfish. She's not taking whoever she wants home. But like, I think Lux goes to the bar with like a mentality, but Selena's just there to have a good time with her girls. You know what I mean?
But if they're being asked to play wingman, though, who is doing a better job? That's how I'm approaching this question. Now I go with Lux on this one because, frankly, I think Lux has just If Lux could give me a bit of that speech of what's great about my drag, I think I'm going home with someone.
I will say, Lux has the confidence to go up to anybody in the bar.
Okay.
Yeah,
For
Lux,
you.
to
That
me,
is
Lux
true.
has the confidence of like, fuck my friend.
Yes.
Like, why aren't
Thank
you
you.
fucking my friend right
That's
now?
exactly it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where I sort of worry Selena would be like, I saw him first.
You know what? I feel like Selena would be like, I'm not taking home no boy from the bar. But
There's that element of it too.
Okay, you know what? You have convinced me. Even if it hadn't been majority vote wins, which
Sure.
it always is, so I'm happy to lose when I lose. Yeah, okay, Lux. Okay, yeah, Lux, better wingman. If the decision is going to the bar as a wingman, this alternate universe where Lux will do that. Okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Lux the wingman. Does anybody disagree with this? Is this resolution unanimous? All right, we're
Yeah.
doing it. We
Fair
got
enough.
All right.
we got
Sorry,
best
Selena.
wingman Lux. in
Turns
the
out you
mix
only
here.
win one thing on Drag Race.
Who was the first winner again?
Anitra.
Anitra.
Anitra, of course.
Oh my god, it's gonna be the same final four. Okay.
Oh, yes.
We'll see.
So now we've got Sugar and Marcia, and the question here is, who is more likely to be obsessed with true crime?
I had so much fun writing these questions.
It's gonna be. I think this is a Marcia one.
This is Marcia cute.
I think
It's a white
Sugar's
woman
just watching
thing.
TikTok.
Sugar?
I don't know if Sugar knows what true crime is.
Wait, are there fake crimes?
Spice will pretend.
Are they done by actors?
Spice pretends she likes true crime.
I feel like Sugar is listening and like getting tips. I could kill an old man for money.
I think this is.
No. This is not who's more likely to end up on true crime. This is who's more likely to be interested in true crime.
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm saying it's
So,
Sugar for that reason, because she's like, I'm learning something.
I don't know. Marcia's
They
got
don't know
the
how to
crazy
learn.
eyes.
Marcia does have the crazy eyes. Marcia saw Fatal Attractions and thought that's aspirational.
That is a plan.
Can I also just say that I've been watching 30 Rock with Kevo, and the fact that they made, and then I've also been watching that 70s show recently, and that both of those shows also make the exact same joke Marcia does at her entrance of the football to the nose.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Well, it's a reference to Brady Bunch, my darling.
No, I know, but the fact that it just keeps coming up, that very specific.
Oh, you mean for you right now? I was like,
yes,
that's pop culture.
Hey, this is the same as when like 4 different shows and sitcoms were using "Oh Danny Boy" for like different things, and I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
So, friends, it sounds like we got a lot of votes for Marcia. Does anybody have a vote for Sugar on this one?
No, it
don't.
really feels like Marcia.
All right, my vote is for Sugar, but I just wanted to confirm that I'm.
Based on what though? Come on.
Oh, it's that I really do think she just gives me the vibe of like she puts in her headphones, she listens to like truly grisly It's the I'm bored. Like I just see her being like, I want to learn something.
I will say her line is, "I'm so annoying."
I'm so annoying. Yeah, that's right.
I'm so annoying.
And I feel like she's like, I could annoy someone to death.
I'm in. I love your femme girl voice. It's really
You're
cute.
very welcome. All right. But I was outvoted, so we're giving that one to Marcia.
Marcia, true crime expert.
And last in our first pairings, it's Sasha versus Amethyst. It doesn't matter. The winner's Sasha, unless it's who's at the worst person. Oh.
No.
Oh God.
Whose name is more after a rock?
This is guys. This is bracketeering is the best game for this. Guys, the question is, who is more likely to be the star of a Karen viral video?
No.
Oh no.
And why I love this is because, of course, we want Marcia to continue in the we want Sasha to continue in the bracket.
But that's not what's gonna happen here. That's not what's gonna happen here.
No, it's not.
What
Oh, poor Amethyst.
So let me pitch to you.
Accidental.
Yeah, like I'm pitching like, it's a Karen video, but you're like, damn, that Karen slays.
Or like this
Karen
poor
video,
Karen.
It's a reverse Karen?
I think it'd be one of those things where like someone accidentally crashes their car into the front of a tanning salon, and like you feel bad for this mess of a woman. That's Amethyst.
You said the star of a Karen video.
I did
What
say
if
that.
What if this is the person telling off the Karen?
That's true. I just.
Ooh, then it
Here's
was
what
Sasha.
it comes down to,
would.
friends. Regardless of the situation, I just don't see. Amethyst in a Karen video, I think it would be a boring thing. It would be one of those ones where you're like, yeah, but they're just annoying the shopping clerk. Like, this isn't a good Karen video.
Sasha Colby would shut the Karen down and send her home in her minivan.
Yeah.
Okay,
Have the Karen reduced to tears in the Victoria's Secret.
Yes.
Okay. TQ, you spun that real good. And it's not even that like we think Amethyst is a Karen. It's that Amethyst literally portrays a Karen.
She has big Gretchen Wieners energy.
Yeah.
And that's not awful.
I love her kind of in her own way. I just don't see her. I could see her making many an interesting viral video, but not a Karen one. Not either as the protagonist or as the Karen. Like, unless it were a skit I just don't see her being in a situation where I'm like, geez, really? Amethyst?
You promised this wasn't just so we could keep Sasha Colby.
I can neither confirm or deny
cannot promise
what just
that.
happened.
It's also
here.
so that we can protect Amethyst from slander.
Yeah,
From the Karens of the world.
yeah, it truly, it do be tough on these streets.
It do.
So, Sasha, you just blew our minds in that viral Karen video. We're so happy to have you.
We're happy to have you by the skin of your teeth.
Anitra versus Lux, and the question is, oh God, Nico, these are some great questions. Who would do the better impersonation of the other person?
Okay, so I'm not because I love Anitra more than I love Lux. However, in the Meet the Queens video is a common question of do an impression of the other queens. Anitra is scarily accurate when it comes to doing impressions.
Okay. As somebody who really loves doing impressions, I think doing impressions is a really nice way to say to someone, I love you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't get up in arms about Lux because I think she's untalented. I think she's one of the most fabulously talented competitors in the history of reality television in a way that is so goddamn unbelievable. I just don't want her to be John Mayer. I just don't want her to be literally considered the greatest guitarist of his generation by every guitarist. And is literally
John Mayer.
So many he's done so many bad things in his career to people that the only job he could get for a while was being the lead singer in the Grateful Dead because it didn't have his goddamn name on it. Despite being, and so I really genuinely think that Lux is beyond. Like, I was the one last night watching, you can all agree, I was the one who was like, It's Giving Fashion is one of the best goddamn songs I've ever heard.
I love it.
I love her so much. She just stresses me out.
And Nico, I respect and I love that. And the fact of the matter is, like, I know when you genuinely don't like somebody versus when you're like, I want this person to do right and for the world to do right by this person. And the thing about Lux is she has so many fans that are like, no, I love that she's like this. I love that she is so overconfident and she does not give a fuck and she comes off kind of abrasive. And that's great. I love those fans of hers. That's an awesome, to admire that in somebody I totally get. It's the fear that you will become unpalatable for the kind of audience you could have that would rocket you to stardom because you are not able to break out of that mentality. And like I said, maybe she's okay with it. What's that?
She'd make an amazing Velma Kelly on Broadway. There's a long history of beautiful, long-legged black Velma Kellys, and she would make a stunning Velma Kelly. But if nobody wants to work with her, she's never going to get the equity card because she's not Patti LuPone.
So, maybe she continues to not change a thing and has the happiest life.
Patti LuPone.
Maybe she continues not to change a thing and has the happiest life ever. God bless, as long as she's happy. But, if there is anything to change such that even more people can love her and see her work, I would wish that for her because I do think she's so talented.
And I say all of that because I have to agree. I have also seen the video that Jonah is referring to, and Anitra is fabulously talented at impressions.
That's two. Ooh. What do we got from Kevo or Jake?
Jake, do you want to go first?
Well, I just don't know.
Poor Sophie.
Here's the thing.
Please.
TK, did you go yet or no?
No, I haven't gone yet.
The next person to go will be the decider. Is the thing.
No, because we only have two for Anitra right now. We don't have anybody for Lux.
Right. So that'll
I see what
break
you're
it or
saying.
not.
Yes. Okay. So I am going to prolong this because Lux as the reference queen to me, I feel like might have some stuff really stashed. I do agree that I've seen some of Anitra's impressions and they are very good. I think a Lux impression is hard to do, and an Anitra impression is a little bit easier.
Shoot.
And, like I said, Lux she has tucked some stuff away when it comes to Drag Race, and I like to think that would apply to her own season too. So right now I'm thinking Team Lux.
Some people are good at impersonations.
Yeah.
And some people... She
went to an art school?
Well, no, don't don't think that this is a Lux supportee moment, because it's not.
Okay.
Because I think Lux's personality and ego might still be too big for her to be able to take another person on that way.
I get that.
And even if Anitra is, an easy impression, I'm not sure that I believe that Lux can get out of her own way for it.
So Jake, what's your vote?
I think my vote is Anitra.
Okay, we're gonna move this along a little faster because I just saw the time and it's broadcast end.
Yeah.
So let's hit this. Let's do this.
All right. So we're giving this one to Anitra. Oops, sorry,
I'm very proud of the logic I applied to that situation.
Also, it's beautiful.
Anitra has a voice she does that's really high pitched, and it's the funniest thing in the entire world. And I just have to throw that out there.
Oh gosh, Nico, you're just the best. My hat's off to you for these questions. Guys, who would win in a hot dog eating contest?
Sasha.
Sasha, yeah.
Are you kidding me? Marsha would be like, "Nyum, nyum, 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 nyum." That's how Marsha eats hot dogs.
White people be eating their lobster like.
They spent a lot of mayo on it, to steal a joke from Lucy.
Oh, Nico,
is there any question here?
Thank you so much for this.
I love this game.
Like, just the visual of Marsha trying to eat a hot dog.
And we have brought ourselves to
the finale.
So what have we got?
Yeah, you both stay.
What's the question?
Who is more likely to take gaming way too seriously?
Anitra.
Anitra.
I think it's Sasha.
Ooh.
I feel like Sasha would just put the controller down, but I think it's Anitra. I think Anitra would get like, no, you've got to stop just using Kirby all the time.
Yeah, I think Anitra gets steamed.
Slight counterpoint. Anitra is from Vegas, so Anitra's probably used to being like walking away from a game that's not working at the tables.
Ooh.
I feel like Sasha might. I hope Sasha plays video games.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of performers don't gamble though. I mean, if you work the casinos, do you know? Don't you know not to go to the casinos?
I mean, whether she does or doesn't, I feel like she has shown us such a non-serious side. I just don't see her taking gaming too seriously.
Same.
But Sasha, I see being like, I expected better from you.
Oh, I thought you were saying about Sasha. No, I really stand by my Anitra vote. So how many Anitras do we have? Raise your hand. How many Sashas do we have? Raise your hand.
I think that's...
No,
Kevo, you got
it's
it.
my job.
Breaking ties.
All of you.
What do we got, Kevo?
I mean, okay, here's what Kevo, think about Metalgate. Sasha was in Metalgate and she was not pleased about that situation. Anitra was not, but she was cackling and just
It's one thing to stand on the fringes of someone else's game and laugh at it. It's another thing to be playing Mortal Kombat and get beat 25 times in a row. And how are you feeling after that?
I think
way serious.
But I think I'm gonna go with Sasha because I really appreciated the Metalgate reference, because I think a situation like that speaks more to what the question is looking for in terms of how is that person going to be under pressure, not by their own volition. And I think Anitra then therefore showed a side where she was a lot more relaxed and Sasha was a lot more focused.
I am taking this game way too seriously.
Also, Anitra doesn't really like confrontation.
Yeah.
Anitra talked about that if a queen came for her in the workroom, she'd go, okay, you good? Are we done? And like swiveled in the chair to kind of just end it.
All right, so our little game has had us ask who would win hot dog eating competitions, who would be in a Karen video. I love this game.
So we're back for part 2. We've got 8 new queens to discuss. Who is more likely to have a secret past as a metalhead?
Princess
Poppy, yeah.
Oh. I'm on the wrong screen.
A secret past, I would say Poppy, because it works with the narrative of I'm a dainty princess, but I really like the dark, hardcore metal.
Yeah.
I support this interpretation.
This is a unanimous vote. I love those. That's not true. I really like it when we all fight. But in this case, you go, Poppy.
I also feel like, and I'm being silly. I totally am being silly.
Yeah.
But I feel like on some level, if you're like, "Hey Jax, do you like metal?" and he's like, "What? Like you know, like
Titanium?
metal?" And he would be like, people would be like, you know, like loud, thrashy music. He'd be like, "I love Let's Get Loud."
Yes. Yep.
We love you, Jax.
Love that.
I love you, Jax.
Oh,
And like not
Jax.
you, Jax, but like the silliness of like the all athletic kind of throw it around character in the overalls. Because I literally now leave rooms by kicking my leg out like that because I think it's such a hot.
You don't,
move.
and you don't want to welcome that.
No.
There's only one answer to this next question. In a battle between Spice and Irene, who would make the better Game of Thrones throne getter?
Irene.
Irene.
Sorry, Spice.
That's completely
you would
incorrect.
get-
It's Spice, but whatever.
Spice, you would get
Getter
so murdered.
or competitor?
Murdered. So murdered.
Oh,
Spice
okay.
is so
Competitor?
murdered.
Is
I think-
Irene.
Yeah.
Getter?
Yeah.
Spice would be hilarious to see on the throne.
No, listen, Bran's dick doesn't work.
I mean, like, Irene would straight up murder that poor
Murder
little girl.
everyone.
Like, absolutely cut her head off. Blood is going everywhere.
Irene
We're
would-
slipping
That
it
is
on
not
the
how the
ground.
Game of Thrones works, Jacob.
I'm with you,
sorry.
Jacob.
I saw the end of the first season. I believe that is how it works.
You fuck
And
your
I-
way to the top, and Spice has got it.
And I've never seen any episode, and I think it's Irene.
It's 100% Irene. You put an axe in
Alright.
that girl's hand, she'll kill anyone.
It's
Kevin,
4
what
to
do you
1. You guys are all wrong. I'm
You
going
said
to
Spice.
be a magnanimous host and not change the vote to what I know is right. But
So wait, what
Irene-
was it then?
It's
Was
Irene.
it just me and you on Spice? It was just me and you?
Are you agree with me? Thank
I
you.
voted
Oh
Spice,
God, I'm
yeah.
so glad I'm not alone. Yes, you
No,
and me on Spice.
I
but
said Irene would be a better competitor for the
Right,
throne,
but
but
yes, Spice is
Spice
a
would be
better
better
throne
on
getter.
the throne. Yeah.
yes, I love it.
All right.
Next up, between Malaysia and
I really want to
Lucy,
see Malusi, but
Very curious about this question.
who is more likely to be a secret genius? I don't think Lucy could keep the secret that she was a genius.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's probably Malaysia.
Malaysia would be the secret genius.
I feel like Lucy would be like, I don't know if you've heard,
Right.
but several months ago,
It's never
I
been a
took
secret.
test and I got into LUSA, which is like Mensa, but for loose people.
I got
So-
accepted to every college. I have won 3 college applications.
And I just want to point out that one of those college applications I filled out without a number 2 pencil. It was not a Ticonderoga. So the fact that they even accepted it really speaks volumes about my work. I say this is the biggest Lucy fan.
Also, great drag name, Ticonderoga.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. And then her drag daughter is Ticonderoga number 2.
She Lucy's vibe is very much I aced the Scientology entrance exam.
They called me. I didn't call them.
I asked if Tom Cruise wanted to jump on me, but he said that's weird even for him.
Oh no, we're
Lucy,
gonna
we
get-
love you so much.
So much. You are
You
literally
really
one of my favorites
do.
of all
You're
time.
so
I
good.
can't wait to see Lucy in person. Tell her
In
how much
person,
I love
I
her.
want to. I really want the Lucy LaDuca meet and greet.
The
Like,
vibes are
oh,
immaculate.
I kind
Wait,
of
what was the question again?
Really butch
It's
masculine.
Secret
Malaysia is a
genius.
secret genius.
Who is more likely to be a secret genius? Yeah.
Yeah,
and
Malaysia.
yeah, it can be Lucy. Lucy, you can do so many things, but keep a secret about your genius is not one
Yeah,
of them.
no.
Your lips are loose.
So let's
Laura
get it.
versus Mistress. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Who would make
That
the
was very
better
funny
Disney
last night.
princess? This is a tough one because I love the idea of that for both of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because there's the history of Vanellope for either one of them,
Mm.
and there's like Moana. It depends. Like, is Aura being her political aura, and is Mistress Isabel Brooks being
Your
toxic?
congenial era?
I think
Oh.
you have
Yeah,
whatever resources
congenial
you
era.
want to imagine. In my head, she's a Texas oil baron princess.
Who do I think?
I think it's Aura for me. She just provides such a theatricality that really feels like childlike wonder, where everything Mistress does feels very adult.
And you
I
know
feel
what?
you.
I'll even say to put it even in a less positive way, less personality perhaps makes for a better Disney princess,
You can
and
write whatever you
Mistress's
want. onto 'em.
personality is perhaps a little bit more suited to a Tiana's best friend Lottie type role.
Okay.
Because of how big it is. I'm not saying she couldn't possibly be a Disney princess, but I think in terms of who maps onto it better, probably Aura, yeah.
Okay, so that's 2 for Aura. I got myself for Mistress. Jake and Jonah.
Here, I'll make this interesting. Jake, you could break the tie because I think I'm voting for MIB.
Yeah.
I am too, because I like the idea of a bigger Disney princess. And a bigger Disney princess with a bit of a chip on her shoulder is also interesting to me. I think that a lot of them are very nice. And that's very nice, but I like someone who's I want to see the movie that she's in, and I want to see how they deal with her being a Disney princess with a chip on her shoulder.
A mean Disney princess who goes hee. I mean, it's selling itself. Just Disney.
Yeah, I can see the doll now.
Exactly.
And I can see the doll on the screen.
Call Mistress, but also call me. I think I have this. I'll break this story for you. Okay, in the great battle between Irene and Princess Poppy, who would make the better Starfleet captain?
Irene would make.
She's already the alien queen.
Yeah,
make an incredible Starfleet captain.
Yeah.
Starfleet would be lucky to have a sick ass former Borg bitch.
Her
like
one problem.
Irene.
She very often violates the Prime Directive in disgusting ways.
Oh my god, she loves violating it. She just violates it.
Does she violate it? How does she violate it?
With a pro.
You will have to read my fan fiction.
Yeah, Poppy is very much a ship's counselor type, I would say.
Yeah,
Poppy would be great, like an engineer, because Poppy has talked about how she really wants to get into like TV production. She wants to be behind the camera. So let her be an engineer. Let her be a scientist.
Secondary roles on the bridge, but not captain. Yeah.
3rd or 4th in command.
She works at the bar.
I would love her engineering. Her engineering crew would be amazing. Like down working in the with the dilithium, she would be incredible.
Oh.
Captain Dubois, we salute you.
This fight, first of all, we couldn't have planned.
No,
a lip sync we should have got.
Truly.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm really glad this wasn't the hot dog eating contest. It would have looked really bad.
No, thankfully this is a good one. So this is phrased interestingly, Nico. So all of us will have to decide what we want to say about this. The question is, who would make the better Jedi or Sith?
Or Sith.
I need to be very clear with
Force wielder in general.
Yeah, but either direction.
So this isn't like a moral question. It's more like who would just
who
do
is more
better
morally extreme?
In either direction.
Right.
Who is I just don't feel like Malaysia stands in this is what I do.
She is not a Jedi, but she's also not evil.
But like Mistress is straight up like, damn girl, I'm in my Ventress era.
I'm in my kill the kids in the Jedi Academy era.
But she could go either way, though. I think it's more than
which I think is why she wins. Mistress could either be a Sith Lord or she could be the best Jedi we've seen.
Yeah,
I think it goes both ways, and I think it's her.
Let's. I still think we need to reject the binary here. She can be a gray Jedi, or not a gray Force user. I don't.
Well, and I think Malaysia would make a very good late stage Jedi knight, where like they were a lot more neutral and a lot more about peacekeeping and a lot less about like.
And they each had like specific powers. Like one could heal.
Malaysia's going to the Jedi school. Mistress is the teacher at that school.
Yes.
Yes. Is Mistress's lightsaber pink?
I think Mistress's lightsaber is misshapen. I think it's like, bitch, it goes all sorts of crazy ways, and she's not going to apologize for it.
Yeah. Oh, Mistress, may the Force be with you.
Mistress, I'm so happy you got that question. I wrote that for Sasha.
In this showdown between Mistress and Irene, oh God, great question. So happy for okay. Who would make the better Disney villain?
Oh
no.
Couldn't have predicted it would go like this, people. Everything was randomized.
This is amazing.
I will say my answer first for a multitude of reasons, of which I will reveal afterwards.
Yeah.
But my vote goes to Irene.
Yeah.
I think Irene has the chops to be on the level of like a Maleficent, of somebody who
Yes.
is like does like actual evil in a Disney fun way that I think she'll enjoy, and she would be the villain that everybody loves, that everybody will dress up as for Halloween.
Yeah.
But Mistress Brooks, she's just gonna come in. She's like, I'm Mother Willow. Shit, I'm this tree. I'm just sleepy. But Irene's out there burning the trees.
Yeah.
Well, and
They
the thing
both do well.
The thing that I love about a good Disney villain is there's always something they just can't get over, and it's sort of like the core, the instigator of their Disney villainy. And Irene could not get over that wig. She couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is the core. This is where it all starts, is at this wig and this elimination. She's going to go on and be spectacular in her villainy.
Okay, the other selfish reason I really wanted to vote for Irene, because if Irene won, that means we would have had the current
First
winner
to last.
and the first eliminated.
Yep.
Yes.
Which is
that
hilarious.
is our final battle. And guys, the question for this final bracket is, who would win in a competitive baking competition?
Jonah, I wrote that question for you, sweetie.
For me,
Ooh,
he did it
what
for
a
me.
question.
Well, that we know Irene can at least make ice water.
Oh, no.
So we have that.
No, guys, we
But-
saw Sasha
well-
Colby do the cooking thing.
With Charo.
She did make a salad with Charo.
That's right.
So Irene botched a cooking demonstration, but Sasha Colby canonically aced it.
I don't know that what happened with that was acing, but she did great interviewing Charo.
Yeah.
Listen, they
And
tossed
that's
this out.
hard.
I got Sasha
That was
Colby.
the real hard part of that challenge.
I mean, Sasha's got some cakes.
Irene has some padding.
I would not want to see either one of them armed with fire.
Who do I think would be the better win a baking competition show? So something like Nailed It. They can win Nailed It.
Yeah, read the line off again. What is it?
Who would win a competitive baking competition?
It's Sasha Colby for me, because I don't think she would lose.
Yeah.
She does not historically do that very much.
Especially because we said she would be too competitive about video games.
Yeah.
We have to assume she would be competitive about her baking show.
She take it very seriously.
And she would go on prepared and competent.
And I think the same reason that we think Irene would make a good Disney villain is the same reason that she would falter on a baking competition.
Very
Where
chaotic.
it's so much
energy.
more about the performance,
Yeah.
and it's so much more about like petty grudges, and she would probably talk back to Chef Anne a lot, and Chef Anne would not like that. So yeah,
Okay. Baking requires precision, and requires you to like really know what you're doing. So I think it would be Sasha.
I think that's our votes.
Precision, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Irene came so much closer this time. She really did.
Yeah, she really did.
Actually,
and
I think it's baking, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and it's bunt.
yes,
And in parentheses, cake.
Yeah.
get them cakes,
Yeah.
girls. Well, I mean, I feel like this is sort of the thing. Like, Sasha's just a GD winner, guys.
GODDESS.
Yes.
Well,
That's the conclusion we have come to.
Yeah.
What an unbelievable 2 hours with you guys. I have had such an unbelievable time celebrating a show that's come to mean so much to me. And I know all of us here congratulate all of the women, all 16 incredible girls on a beautiful season, and
Wonderful.
Irene on being in one episode and getting like third most talking head. And she's like actually just behind David Byrne on most talking heads. And so I just want to give everybody a chance to say where you can find yourself and get on out of here. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Oh, now it's shifted. So let's start with Jonah and work our way over. Jonah, where can everybody find you online?
Congratulations to all 16 season 15 girls. Can't wait to see what you all do. You can follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at PeakJonah.
Hey, Jake, where can everybody find you?
I'm on the internet right now, actually, but also you can find me on Twitter at Mega Sentinel, like Mega Sentinel. And just echoing what Jonah said, an amazing season. Really, really wonderful getting introduced to these queens. I can't wait to see more of them.
Guys, thank you so much for being with us, and we cannot wait to have you guys back. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you soon.
You did it. Yeah, thank you.
And now, just to do a little bit of house cleaning, we do have a few more broadcasts coming up in the next couple of days.
Yeah,
Tomorrow night at 6 p.m., we're going to be taking a look at the MCU phases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, doing a bit of quick refresh on everything MCU related for our show HTML. We also have a comics broadcast Wednesday of this coming week, plus a Saturday broadcast looking at some streamers, and a Sunday broadcast of the same covering Jury Duty on Freevee starring James Marsden, and a lot of incredibly funny stuff. Can't wait to talk about that. We're going to be taking a look at Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. We're going to be taking a look at the finales of Mandalorian and Picard. And on one more personal note, we obviously just support our trans brothers and sisters 1,000%. As members of the queer community, we love everybody in that umbrella because every letter matters, and it's not just alphabet soup. The letters are significant. And any lawmaker describing any trans person as anything less than beautiful and amazing, bite me. So, but all said and done, we actually do have kind of a personal attachment to Sasha Colby that's a little bit more than just she is incredible. In the course of our comic book Kid Riot, as a guy who's, I guess, back in the comic writing game, having just won a GLAAD award for an anthology I was a part of. Thank you so much to Matt, Joe, and Tyler. Just unbelievable to get to say that we were nominated for so much and won so much. What an incredible gift.
And specifically, pretty cool to have your GLAAD Award nomination have been announced by the now winner of Drag Race Season 15. I'm getting the link to post that video in the comments for anyone who wants to check out Selena Estidis and Sasha Colby announcing the GLAAD Award nominees, including yours truly, Nico. So definitely be sure to check that out, and be sure to check out Young Men in Love as well, because it is a pretty great anthology.
And we are so proud to feature an amazing superhero who happens to be a trans woman in our original work, Kid Riot. And it's hard not to immediately superimpose all things Sasha Colby onto this character in our head and heart.
Well, her name was... Riot Diva's name was always Sasha from the start. So for Sasha Colby to come out of nowhere and have so much of the same physicality as Riot Diva, who is, not to play favorites, but maybe our favorite child from the Kid Riot universe. She's such a strength of force and good and so many of the things that we have said we love about Sasha Colby. And so to have those characters, like those women, be so similar for us has really made this season even more special for us, and made our original character more special to us as well. So we're so grateful for that.
And TK, do you have some house cleaning stuff as well? I think I see something up on your screen.
Do you?
Do I?
Oh no, that's nothing. That is not.
No, that's not for us.
That's not show stuff.
Oh, great!
It's very applicable to the show. I was just looking at Adventures in Poor Taste preview of Red Goblin #3. Alex Pactadell is writing the hell out of that book right now. That's probably something we will be discussing on Wednesday. But as you know, on Wednesdays we talk comics now, so join us for that. Really, is all I have to say, and I'm super excited for the slate we have coming up.
Well, until we come back, Kevo, now you've got your mouth.
No, I was smiling. Sorry.
No, that's awesome. I was just like, we got so much house cleaning. We got such a cool show. So until we come back with more amazing content, you can check us out tomorrow night, 6 p.m., talking everything MCU. Until then, Kevo, where can everybody find you online?
You can find me over on the socials at Kevo Really, KEVOREALLY.
Hey,
find
TK.
me.
Oh, yeah. That's what I
You can
want.
find me on Twitter and Instagram at xnateXgrayX.
And you can find me on all of my socials at Nico Action. That's NicoAction. You can check this track out tomorrow on SoundCloud, where I'm going to be throwing it up to celebrate the goddess herself, Sasha Colby. Congratulations again, and congratulations to all of the women. You know, getting to be a part of this season of Drag Race really changed my life. I can't believe like how much I love these women, and how much I love a lot of the earlier queens, Bianca and Adore and Alaska. And you know, it's just so great to feel like there's this art that's now open up to me. And thanks so much, drag community, for welcoming us. And we can't wait to come back and do more. So until next time, keep those lights lit, keep those doorways open. Remember that you too can find the drag inside you all along if you look deep enough. I mean, look really deep, because this is not going to look pretty in a dress. And until then, we'll see you.